practice, we're going to try a pose that I really love, okay? So it's going to be great for balance, strength, and it's really going to give you that confidence when you are able to really kind of get through some of the options that I give you today. All right, so you're going to need a couple of blocks, you're going to need a strap, you're definitely going to need a chair, so have that close by. And you might need a blanket for one of our options a little bit later on, okay? Let's start warming up. We're coming into our cat-cows. So tuck the toes under or tops of the feet, whatever feels good. Spread through the hands, lining up, shoulders above wrists and knees under the hips. Take an inhale, open the chest, lift the tail. Exhale as you push the floor away, keeping the length in your arms, but feeling your shoulder blades spread apart. Breath in as you lift up into your cow position. Breath out for cat. Now I'm breathing in through the nose and out through the nose by creating a small closing in the back of the throat. You might be able to hear that kind of beach sound, especially as I exhale. And that's our Ujjayi breath. What we're doing with our Ujjayi breath is actually releasing some stress hormones from the body. We're building that inner warmth as we transition through these poses. And I can imagine them just kind of happening seamlessly. So we inhale and open. As soon as we're ready for the breath out, we exhale. And coming back into more of a neutral spine. All right, let's get into the wrists a little bit today. So walk your knees in a little bit closer, and actually you may want to have your blanket here too. If you know that we're going to spend if you know you're going to spend a little bit of time on the knees, a blanket might be in order if you need that support, or as I always say, rolling up your mat, okay, if you don't have a blanket. All right, so I'm going to bring my knees a little closer. I'm tucking the toes under because that helps me to feel supported while I'm working on the wrists. One at a time, I'm going to turn my wrists so that the fingertips, or turn my hands so that the fingertips are facing towards me. And I feel, again, already that length in the forearms, okay? I'm drawing the shoulders back just to keep that neutral position and that support around the neck so I don't feel like I'm getting strained in the neck. I'm going to sink my hips back a little bit, just enough so that I feel that length and that stretch. I also am pressing slightly down with my fingertips and my knuckles. So I'm really kind of grounding down here. We're building that mobility, and these foundational poses and these things kind of help with poses that we come to later when we need that forward reaching or that movement in the wrists to come more forward and feel comfortable in those positions. So I'll just sit here, take a few breaths. And then slowly back off. So keep in mind that the closer the knees are to the fingertips, the less challenge it is. So that's where you may need to be. If you want more or more stretch, then you can take the knees a little further back. But I'm going to ease off now. So I'm coming forward. I'm just shifting my hips more forward. And then I'm going to turn my palms one at a time. And I feel that work quite a bit. I'm going to sit back, sit wherever it feels comfortable, and I'm just going to turn the wrists. I'm just letting them kind of, I don't know, air out, if you will. Just getting that circulation going again. All right, and we're going to go for the other side. So I'm going to walk again the knees back, turning my toes under, and then I'm going to turn my hands now the opposite direction. So the palms are now facing up. So one at a time. And this can be a little bit more intense. I already feel a lot of work right here already. I'm actually going to walk my knees a little bit closer. And there might be a little bit more bend in the elbows in this position too. I'm also, if you watch or if you could see, if you notice, my thumbs were kind of hanging out up here. So I'm going to Just take them down to make contact with the mat. I'm going to sink back. Oh, see, I still need a little bit more. There's always time to make adjustment. I'm going to sink the hips back. Feel that length in the forearm. Again, just being right in the moment, the breath. And then one at a time, slowly backing off and coming away. Sitting where it feels comfortable, wringing out the wrists. And just take your time. I'm just moving them in different directions. Back and forth maybe a little bit. I can feel that new life in them already, okay? All right, so let's lose the blanket. And we're coming into downward facing dog. So lift the knees, lift the hips. Take the feet about hip width apart. Feel the chest going back towards the thighs. Take a couple of breaths. Take an inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Take the back knee down. Let's revolve it, so let's lift the right arm up. Inhale. I'm just going to hold it there again for a breath or two. Let it go. Take the hand back down and push back into downward dog. Left leg up, inhale. Exhale, step in. Breath out as I drop the knee. Inhale up. Now here I still feel the shoulder blades going back. I feel like I'm making space between the ears and the shoulders. And I'm pushing into the floor with my stable hand. So I feel that support. Exhale, take it down, downward dog. Breath in, three-legged dog, step in. Keeping the back knee up this time, I'm going to lift the right arm up. And feel that shift. Feel if the shoulders were coming forward, that you're actually drawing them back again. Pushing into the floor with the left hand. Take the hand down, downward dog. Remember that at any time, downward dog can feel very intense, especially when we're just starting out. So if at any time you need to back off, come into a child's pose, and then join back in, that's also okay. Left leg up, inhale. Step in. Inhale. Exhale. Push back. Right leg up, inhale. Step it in. Inhale up. Now we're coming into pyramid pose. So this is where I like to use my blocks. I'm going to take them at a higher height, or the highest height. Use them for support. So I just come on up. I'm going to creep my back foot in. And I'm just going to turn my back toes out so they're facing about 10 o'clock. Okay, so the heel is back. The toes are facing more towards the long side of my mat. But my right toes, or my front toes, are facing forward. Now, they're about hip width apart. So it's as if I'm standing on two lines here, two parallel lines. I've got my blocks for support. I want to create some length in the back of that front leg. So I'm going to draw my right hip back. And then also create some length in my spine. So I'm pushing a bit through the blocks. Holding that breath. Or holding the position and breathing through that hold. I'm going to take the blocks away. Push back. Downward dog. Left leg up, inhale. Feels good. I'm already feeling lots of length from holding and taking my time in that pyramid pose. Exhale, hands down. Grab the blocks. Creeping the back foot in, turning the toes out, so we're on that angle, turning them out to about 2 o'clock. This time, left hip pushing back. Keeping that straight front leg. Lengthening through the spine, so I feel like I have a tabletop back. I can easily rest a platter on my back without it falling. Having a little hold. And here's a little trick, actually. So if you do suffer with any knee pain, here's a wonderful pose to help you to actually rebuild some strength in the quads. So you're actually going to draw up. Imagine drawing these muscles up away from the knee. So I'm tensing it up a little bit. And if we hold that tension, that's going to help us to build some strength in that area. So you can hold that tension. As soon as you feel it dropping away, then again, just pull it back up away from the knee. And then release the blocks, take a little bit more bend in the front leg, and then step back. Downward dog or child's pose. So here's where we build on and we do this new variation with the chairs coming up. So let's step forward into our low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, drop down. Take the blocks, pyramid. So you can see as well that the distance is a little shorter as well between the feet. So I'm not the best judge of maybe of length, but you're probably looking at about 3 feet or so distance. So here's where we come in. Here's the chair now. You can see the direction that I have my chair. We're moving into Halfmoon Pose. So the chair now, I have it set up so that I can place my forearm on the seat of the chair. And so I'm stabilizing with my right leg. Okay, so my right foot is grounding down, because again, we always want to think ground up. I'm hugging my right hip in, okay, and I'm taking my right hand or my right forearm to the seat of the chair. Now my left hand just comes to grip the top. I'm going to slowly open my chest more towards you, okay? I don't want to be hiding from you, okay? So I'm opening up, and then I'm going to slowly begin to lift my left toes up and away. I, at the same time now, want to rotate my hips so that my hips look like they're looking for you as well. I'm going to flex that back foot, or flex those toes. And here's a wonderful, safe way to get into Halfmoon Pose. I learned that lovely option from Jory Sirota, brilliant teacher. Okay, that's allowing access to poses like this without feeling like we're not able to do them. So this is when I talked about that confidence, or building confidence. This is very, very helpful to do that. Now, if that top leg does not want to stay, you can take it down a little bit more. You can even bend more through that front leg and keep the toes down. And just work on opening the chest, because it's one step at a time. All right, let's take it back now into chair pose. So, from the chair into chair pose. Easy to remember. Okay, feet about hip width apart, inhale up. Take an exhale. Let yourself fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down. Step your legs all the way back, or step the feet back. Come down to the knees. Shift the hips a little bit more forward, or the chest forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, and then all the way down. Don't hit your head on the chair. And then tuck the toes under, push back. Child's pose or downward dog. If you're in child's pose, we come back into downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up, inhale. Exhale, step it in. Inhale, revolve. Exhale, maybe take your blocks. Pyramid pose. Drawing the left hip back. So when we come into half moon, we want to make sure that our chair is facing the appropriate direction. So because I'm going to be balancing on the left side this time, I'm going to turn my chair around, take my blocks down, and I'm going to shift. So here again, I'm going to make sure that I'm pressing my left foot down into the mat. I'm taking my left forearm down onto the chair. I'm already starting to open the chest as I take my right hand to the top of the chair. So forearm is down. I'm opening now this time away from you. I'm lifting through the back leg as I hug in here as well into this left hip because I want to open up. You want to imagine the back of your body is actually flat against a wall. So you can see I'm not rotating the chest forward. So from our half moon, let's step in, feet about hip width apart, chair pose. I'm going to push the chair away a little bit so I have some space. Exhale and fold. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale down, step back. Take your vinyasa on the knees or on the toes. Roll the shoulders back as you push up. Tuck the toes under. I'm going to push straight back into child's pose. Let's take a break. We've been balancing quite a bit and holding those balances in that half moon pose. So this time, as you stay in your child's pose, I'm going to move my chair. I know you're taking a peek. I'm going to move my chair away because we're going to show the other option, okay? So if you're ready to move forward into some other options without the chair for half moon, we're going to try that on this cycle of our flow. Inhale, come forward. Downward facing dog. Right leg up. Step it through. Inhale, lift the right arm. Exhale, take it down. Take your blocks. Step in for pyramid. If you don't want the blocks or you want them on a lower height, because you do have that capability here, then just take them to a lower height. You can even have fingertips down if you're able to keep that length. Now coming into half moon, again, so a few variations, even without the chair, you can take your block, so I'm going to just lose the block that I was using on my left hand. I'm going to take my block a little bit more forward and away or outside the front of my mat. You can see that I'm kind of shifting my weight in towards the direction of the block. Again, grounding the foot down, drawing the hip in, being very aware of drawing in around the waist. That's where our focus is, and that's also where we're going to get our stability from. I'm flexing the back foot, and I'm lifting the left arm up. If I'm tight in the waist, and I'm feeling that length through the crown of my head and the heel of the lifted foot, then we can hold on to our half moon there. If this is too much, we can again shift our weight forward with the block. Keep the toes down, touching lightly of the back leg. Lift the arm up, keep more of a bend in that front leg, and just feel the opening here. There's always a safe place to start. Take the option that feels good for you, okay? Coming into chair pose. Now take the left leg, step it back long, coming back into that revolve low lunge. We're adding on again. Drop the back knee down. This is where you might want the blanket if you want support. We're taking a modified side plank. So I'm going to sweep my right leg back, keeping the knee down, and I'm going to open up the chest. Now I'm feeling my lower rib cage move towards the wall in front of me. And take the top arm down. Either take your flow back into plank, chaturanga, upward dog and downward dog, or straight into downward dog. Left side, lift it up. Come through. Breath in. Breath out. Pyramid pose. I'm taking my block again, setting up. So take what's good. I'm bending a little deeper through that front leg. I'm creeping my weight forward and the back toes in. I'm opening the chest. This might be it. Okay, but if you want to feel that sensation of that lifting of the back leg, use your chair again. If you want to try it out here, brace through the waist, lifting the back leg up so you think parallel with the floor and that the back of the body is right against a wall. Open the chest. Step that back foot down, chair pose, inhale. Exhale, step the right foot long, low lunge. Take the low option for side plank if you want the blanket, or simply drop the knee down, or you can take your side plank here by stepping that front foot back. Lift the hips. Draw those lower ribs closer to, I'm drawing my lower ribs closer to you. And then take the top arm down. Either downward dog or your flow. I'm taking downward dog here, a couple of breaths. All right, let's bring it down. Okay, so that gets you going. That balance, that stability, the support that we need, that actually really helps us to get in touch with our core. Okay, we have to really utilize that. If we're only thinking that we need to balance with just our legs, okay, we really need to recruit those muscles in the core to help us to stand stable. It's really from the inside out. Okay, all right, so let's come on down. All right, you can have a seat either on a block or the blanket, whatever feels comfortable. I think I'm going to opt for my block here. And we're going to come into easy pose. So I'm drawing my right leg or my right shin in front of the left just to start off. And I'm going to take a little side body stretch. So inhale and come up and just feel like you're lengthening up. I might even close my eyes here. Take a couple of breaths. If I can remember to mirror you here, then we're going to take the right hand down, left arm up, and just allow the right arm or the right elbow to bend as I reach. And I'm keeping, again, that same opening, the same one that we recruited in our half moon. I'm not dropping forward. I'm opening up and taking that top shoulder back. And at the same time, I'm feeling my right hip, or my left hip, sorry, go down in towards the floor. Inhale, bring it back. And then taking the opposite arm down. So taking the left hand down, bending through the left elbow, lifting the right arm up. Encouraging that right hip to drop down. And then coming back up. Remember that if you feel really good in those stretches, you can repeat them, okay? So feel free to take a pause of the video, repeat that side body, that opening feels really good, very helpful for our breath and creating space, okay? We're gonna take a little twist here now as well. I'm gonna take my left hand across to the outer right thigh, inhale and lift up, and I'm just taking my right fingertips back behind me as a little kickstand. I'm gonna exhale and take a slight twist and a gaze towards my right shoulder. Remembering that I'm mirroring you here. But if you do the other side, doesn't matter, just do the other one on the other round. And then let's take a switch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. ease into this gentle twist. So another great gentle way to access that equalizing of pressure in the discs between the vertebrae. Just allowing more of that fluid to just lubricate the area and those areas, and allowing for more health, more ability to do its job. Absorb shock as we move, as we walk, as we jump, all of those things that we do in our day-to-day. Take an exhale, and we're going to come forward. So you may want to lose the block here. I'm also going to switch the positioning of my feet. I'm going to take my opposite shin forward. I'm going to lift up, and then I'm going to walk myself forward. Again, leading with the chest. Allowing for the breath to just ease and help me to surrender into the pose. Remember that if this position isn't accessible for you, you can always be up a little higher on the hands. Walk the hands back. Come onto your back. And let's just take a moment in wind relieving pose. So I'm going to draw my right foot in, or right knee in, and you can either grab hold underneath the thigh, or you can lace the fingers and grab the shin. I'm opening the chest, drawing the shoulders back. If you want, this is where you can also use a strap. So if you need to grab a strap, because that feels better for you to access that pull, then do that. Exhale as you let it go. Take a little notice of how you feel on either side. And again, just taking a moment to adjust myself so that my shoulders, again, are a little further away from my ears. Take the option that's right by drawing the left side in. And then slowly let it go. And just begin to settle into your Shavasana. Allow only your breath to be the focus. Always a great way to close off your practice. If you need to take an option of bending the knees because you feel some pressure in the lower spine, then just bend the knees and take the feet flat to your mat. Allow yourself to enjoy the silence. Just imagine taking the same feeling into the rest of your day.